Hey guys, welcome to the Science of Golf Performance mini-series where we actually take what we talked about on the table and make it actionable for you. So kind of show what we're talking about, maybe show you a couple exercises that you can start doing at home. I'm Bobby and this is Tyler. So today we're going to talk about this lovely piece of equipment that most of y'all have probably seen before. It's the Theraband. So what we talked about was when it might be useful, when it might have lasted its time and it's time to move on to something else. So I'm going to go through a few examples first of when we might want to move on to something else, and then we'll talk about a good use for it. So specifically looking at the shoulder, all right, we have a ton of people that have come in, maybe after a surgery or maybe after an injury that have one of these nice little stringy bands and they've been doing some exercises. So I'm going to toss this to the side and we got this nice Theraband here. So Tyler is going to come on over here and he's going to demonstrate some good shoulder external rotations with the Theraband. So let's face the camera, Tyler. Now Tyler is going to grab a hold of the band with his left arm, external rotation, there we go, and we're going to rotate out, right? So Tyler's doing a good job of using his actual shoulder blade instead of using his shoulder. So he's feeling a good contraction back here, and this might be good for a couple weeks after a shoulder surgery, but Tyler, is this difficult for you? No, it's not too hard. Now, one of the things you might notice is that there's no tension on the band here, but when Tyler gets all the way out there to the end of the motion, there's a lot more tension on this band. So we're only really training a very small window of this entire muscle. So a great way to make this a little bit more sport specific is we're going to come over to the cable machine, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that cable, make sure it's not set on 100 pounds for you. There we go. So he's got the cable machine. We're going to do the exact same movement, but now that we actually have a little bit more resistance, it's a little bit harder even for a strong guy like Tyler. So we're not going to do too many reps of that. As you can see, it makes quite a big difference for you and is actually going to work on the strength that you need for your golf game. The other nice thing with this cable machine is we can lower the weight and we can go really, really fast. Now we might want to do that in different positions so that we work a little more golf-specific movement, but then we're actually working the power and the speed of that muscle, not just the strength. Another big common one we see is people coming in with a Theraband. Grab that with two hands, Tyler, and do a nice little rowing motion for me. Perfect. Now again, we've got the same issues. This is not difficult whatsoever for Tyler. We've got no resistance on the band here, and then when he pulls it all the way out, we got maybe a little bit more resistance, but we're not training that muscle through a full range of motion. So these are two common things that we see after a shoulder injury or after shoulder surgery that can work great for a couple of weeks, but if you're trying to get back to a high-speed sport like golf, Theraband exercises aren't going to cut it. So let's now go to the wall and demonstrate an exercise with the Theraband that actually is useful for us. All right, so now we're going to show you a very useful exercise for either shoulder rehab or performance utilizing the variable resistance of the Theraband. So all you need for this is some empty wall space and a nice band that's tied into a loop. All right, so I'm going to have Tyler do what's called a banded wall walk. We're going to work not only on his rotator cuff muscles, but also integrating shoulder and scapular movement. All right, so Tyler's going to get his wrists, elbows, and shoulders all in a nice line and pull out against the band so he feels some tension on there. Right, he's in a nice athletic stance and he's going to slowly walk his hands up the wall. What we might see is a little bit of shaking in his shoulder as those muscles are trying to learn how to work together properly. Right, so we're just going to go as high as we can control it. That looks pretty good right there, Tyler. We're going to breathe calmly and then we're going to walk our arms slowly down. The biggest thing is don't let that resistance of the band pull your wrists inside of your elbows or you're going to lose all this tension in those rotator cuff muscles, right? A lot of people get burned out with these, so you can do about 5 reps at a time and that'll be plenty of good work with the band.